One of the most important songs in Mylène Farmer's repertoire is Rêver, which we're going to listen to today. This was taken years back, I think around 2009, in the Stade de France on her tour. And she includes this song, it's very inclusive of most of the tours that Mylène Farmer has done. It involves a very emotional, lyrical impact, as you're going to see with the crowd. From the moment the music begins, the fans just all start singing. There are thousands of fans from the images I've seen on the video I've chosen, and there are many versions of it taken from her tours. I just chose this particular one. It just appealed to me, the lighting, the ambience, the way she was dressed, and a beautiful woman with a beautiful song. Rêver in English means dream, and there's a whole history to this song, so therefore I couldn't do my interpretation of this song. It would be doing it an injustice. So therefore I went to the Mylène Farmer fan page, official fan page, researched the song, and took from the research what I'm going to tell you about the song after we watch the video. All her links and a description about Mylène Farmer, as usual, is attached to this video. This video is several minutes long, so therefore, and I'm just going to take a bit. Take some water, take a coffee, sit, close your eyes, and just listen to the lyrics. It doesn't matter if you don't understand French. Her voice, the performance, the crowd, the emotion in their eyes. I've seen the images. From any of the tours, the crowds start crying, the crowds become involved with the song, and you'll find out afterwards why. But first we'll sit, and I can only apologize if YouTube throw in the ads, which they will, to a several minute video. And all I can say is I hope it doesn't spoil the performance that is, I feel, the most important song of Mylène Farmer's repertoire and career. You might argue, but I feel it is, simply from the lyrics. So don't forget, everybody, thousands of fans from around the world, to hit the translate button, and up will come the lyrics, and you will get a better idea of why so many Mylène Farmer's fans cry and get emotional about this song. And I'll give you a little bit of history and bio afterwards as to why and the importance, because it made me cry as well when I saw the images in front, and I'll tell you why shortly. But first, let's listen to the wonderful, wonderful emotive performance given by Mylène Farmer, and the wonderful response that you'll hear immediately from the first chord to the last from the fans.
J'ai rêvé qu'on pouvait s'aimer. J'irai cracher sur vos tombeaux. N'est pas le vrai, n'est pas le beau. J'ai rêvé qu'on pouvait s'aimer. À quoi bon abattre les murs pour y dresser des sépultures? À force d'ignorer la tolérance, nous ne marcherons plus ensemble. Les anges sont là de nous veiller, nous laissent comme un monde avorté, suspendu pour l'éternité. Le monde comme une pendule qui sait t'arrêter. J'ai rêvé qu'on pouvait s'aimer au souffle du vent, d'élever l'humanité, son manteau de sang. J'irai cracher sur vos tombeaux. N'est pas le vrai, n'est pas le beau. J'ai rêvé qu'on pouvait s'aimer. J'ai rêvé qu'on pouvait s'aimer. J'avais rêvé du monde. Merci beaucoup. Que d'émotions. Merci Yvan. J'ai rêvé qu'on pouvait. C'est à vous. J'irai cracher. J'ai rêvé qu'on pouvait s'aimer au souffle du vent, s'élever l'humanité, son manteau de sang. J'irai cracher sur vos tombeaux. N'est pas le vrai, n'est pas le beau. J'ai rêvé qu'on pouvait s'aimer. J'ai rêvé qu'on pouvait. J'avais rêvé du monde. Merci beaucoup. Et je vous aime. Merci. Merci.
I have something to share with everybody as to why she was so emotive on stage, but that will come into the bio now. You saw the crowd getting very emotional, very involved. If you go to Mylène Farmer's fan page, and it's there in the description below the link, you will see images I have seen, and they're about the Holocaust. And this is what the song is about. I have to say, I'm filling up with tears again, because I know, taken from the fan page, the images, and they're very emotive. So what I've done is taken all the French and translated it to English, and the only way I could do this bio is not to see the images, simply because they were very upsetting. Rêver is a song from the fourth studio album, Retrouvez, released on October the 17th, 1995. It is the fifth and last single from the album. Belle Belle Belle, created by kindred spirits in songwriting, Mylene and Boutonnat. It is a signature song and one of the most recognizable and loved by Mylene fans, as you've seen, heard and witnessed the emotion. Initially, only 4 singles from the studio album, Retrouvez, were programmed. However, due to Farmer's fall during a concert in Lyon on June the 15th, 1996, the song Rêver was chosen as the 5th single to make fans wait, since the release of their live album would be postponed. Well, it's a blessing in disguise, isn't it? Because the song, as far as I'm aware, I share the opinion when I say it's the most emotive and personal song in her repertoire. Anyway, it was released on November the 16th, 1996. The single was only released on CD, and there was no vinyl. On the cover of the single, Farmer is kneeling, as we've witnessed, but she, in the picture of the album, is kneeling, but she's completely naked while showing modesty. She is vulnerable, and how honest is she? No blankets, no pretense, just Mylene in her beautiful, fragile body. This is how we enter the world, and this is how we leave it. It's very funny, my mother has a similar saying, and I've grown up with a similar saying, that we enter this world crying and we leave this world crying. The photo of the album was taken by Carl Dickinson, and the photo session with photographer Carl Dickinson was taken a few months earlier, before the single was released, and the single is a nice success, releasing 7th place in the French top singles. But what makes Rêver a real hit is, above all, its ability to boost sales, believe it or not, of the Retrouvez album. This one, thanks to the single, reached pole position in the top French albums for 2 consecutive weeks in '97. Another element which contributed to make Rêver a hit is its numerous radio and extended broadcasts at the time, and the airplay media controlled FM in France from 96 to 97, continuously playing it. The lyrics of the song was written by Mylene herself, and the music for Rêver was composed by Boutonnat, as we discussed before. Dreaming was Farmer's first song to reference the genocide of World War II. The first line of the lyrics, "To have put his soul in your hands," is taken from the book Si est un homme, If This Is a Man, printed in the USA under the title Survival of Auschwitz, written by Primo Levi. The second song quoting from this book was Remember the Day. Deeply touched by the faith of the Jewish people during World War II and the grief of the Holocaust and war in general, Mylene transforms the pain into a call for tolerance. Now it does say here, look at the images that were made 70 years ago, and it's about the mass graves and the different people and the Nazis surrounding them, and everybody is dead, except obviously for the Nazis. They're compelling images that's on Mylene's official website, and they really show the lyrics in this song as to why they're so powerful and why people become emotive and cry in the audience when they hear the song, because they associate it to the suffering of those times. The Holocaust was the genocide of the European Jews during World War II. Between 1941 and 1945, Nazi Germany and its collaborators systematically murdered some 6 million Jews throughout German-occupied Europe, roughly 2/3 of Europe's Jewish population. The killings were carried out in programs of mass shootings, a policy of extermination through labor in concentration camps, in gas chambers and gas vans at German extermination camps, primarily Auschwitz. It is also perhaps an indirect but very appropriate reference to anti-Semitic movements, even in modern times when Jewish cemeteries and graves were often vandalized and spat upon. Mylene is gentle even in her anger. She sings in the song, I will spit on your graves. It is not the true, it is the beautiful. I dreamed that we could love each other. The song is such a beautiful call for tolerance and love for the whole planet, for all of humanity. It echoes Imagine by John Lennon and a famous speech by Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream. A line in the chorus of this song, Rêver, also says, I'll go spit on your tombs, refers to a book by Boris Vian under a sub-author Vernon Sullivan. This book caused controversy in 1947 because of its violent sexual content. Several lyrics are inspired by poems by Mylene's favourite author, Pierre Riverde. For example, the words, we won't walk together anymore, are an exact quote from the poem In the Foreign World. The flames dance, the arms rise, refers to the poem Thinking Mind. And the lyrics, the world, like a pendulum, which is stopped, seems to be inspired by the poem All There. The song also mentions angels, a recurring theme in Farmer's songs. It's important to note that the song was born during the time of Mylene's life when she was deeply in mourning after the failure of Giorno. And I just need to carry on now. Of Giorno Lorient, then finally moved to LA, and following a reconciliation, Rêver was born out of pain and deep hurt and grief. On a personal note, what is beautiful, pardon the repetition, a beautiful song this is. It is perfectly uniformed, the melody and words are simple and made for each other. In fact, they are so intertwined that they seem to be made of the same fabric that can only be felt and touched in this song called The Dream. The melody is vast like a starry night, and hence the stage setting and the light setting, the way they were flickering, and all the people. It's like watching thousands of stars in the sky in the darkness from the fans with their illuminated lights. And it's as cool as waterfall in the mountain forests, and it sounds like the tears of the soul. Even her delivery of the song, almost angelic, whispery tones, gives you an indication of what the song is about. It's just angelic. It's a heartbreak song raised to the level of the proclamation of love. Dear God, how is she doing? We can all understand that we all have lost somebody we loved. We can all admit that we have been to this place of overwhelming grief. Isn't that why it's so easy to identify and I think that question is in relation to the lyrics. We can identify with the lyrics because we've all sensed overwhelming grief at some period in our lives. It continues, we know deep down that the only way to keep somebody in our hearts is to dream of them and to give all, even if it's the saddest thing we've ever felt. It leads our emotional bodies to rise above the basic perception of loss and grief into a path of poetic and illuminating memory. Even as we walk there alone, the music supports ascension every step of the way, from the beginning of the first note to the last. Even if we were angry at the past, even if we felt betrayed, love, as the lyrics say, is always the most powerful emotion that trumps the rest. We surrender to it. We have no choice but to do the same. She opens up with the high note. It hurts like a scalpel. I know what's coming next. I'm going to find myself bleeding from my emotional veins. But that's a relief. Am I already dead? It asks. I feel so much. But instead I find myself on a soft cloud of softness and comfort. I don't know how much pain can be so good, so heartbreaking, and yet so beautiful at the same time. I cry. How can I not? Why shouldn't I? Continued the lyrics. During the 2006 Bercy concert, Mylene sang it so sincerely that all I could think of was hugging her. This is what the research says, by the way. Kissing all her tears away and telling her everything was going to be okay. Humanity will end up loving each other because that's what Mylene wanted when she wrote the lyrics. She desires that. Although it may take longer and more innocent blood. And at the current state of affairs of the world, with the Russia-Ukraine situation and other wars and all that's happening in Afghanistan, Iranian suffering, Chinese suffering, the world is suffering on a huge, huge scale. That maybe it will take even longer. So for a few brief seconds during the song, I forget the song is being played because I disconnect myself and immerse my soul in feeling with, and that feeling is for Mylene's performance. As she stopped herself, she became overwhelmed with emotion. You've seen that, and then she continued. As the song comes to an end, it says here, I'm confused by what happened. How come I feel what Mylene feels? She's a genius. That's how it is. It's just united in one universal feel of feeling. All of us in the audience, all who watch, all who listen, all who read the lyrics. It's that powerful a song. I bet the song affected your collective energy when you thought of the lyrics. It certainly did. What she's done, Mylene, is created a collective dream. And this is my summary. So easily and naturally, just by being herself on stage and openly sharing with us how she feels with Rêver and doing it through the lyrics. The question is, have you ever tried this in your life, in your relationship with others? Give it a try. You may almost be able to spread the miracle like Mylene did when she wrote the song, when she performs the song time and time again. If we all dream the same dream, this is my final sentence, will it then come true? Is the question that arises from this song and the lyrics. And I sincerely hope so, to everybody that listened to that performance. Rêver ends in a different way other than Farmer's songs. Not with the chorus, but with the line. J'ai rêvé, and my French, I wish it could be better. Qu'on pouvait s'aimer, which means in English, I had dreamed of the world of love. Rêver is probably one of the most incredibly poignant and powerful songs in Mylène Farmer's collection for all the reasons I've mentioned. I hope you agree. and I hope you've enjoyed my detailed account of this song. Thank you for listening. Take care.